Start with Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action, by Simon Sinek. 10-minute book summaries by the empowered leader. In his best-selling book, Start with Why, Simon Sinek tackles the question of what makes some organizations and people more innovative, influential, and profitable than others. His answer to this conundrum was so influential it became the third most watched TED Talk of all time. Through his examples, Sinek shows us that the key to success is to ask why rather than what. If you want to stay up to date on our latest videos, make sure to like and subscribe to the Empowered Leader YouTube channel. We would also love to hear what books you'd like us to summarize in the comments below. Have you ever heard of Simon Sinek? He was the speaker at a TEDx conference in 2009 in Puget Sound, and his microphone wasn't even working properly until mid-speech. But the audience was captivated by him, and the talk ended up becoming the third most clicked on TED Talk of all time. He said something that has stuck with him ever since: people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This is why you should strive to inspire others by leveraging the power of why. Key insight number 1. What are the best ways to inspire others, and what are some things to avoid when trying to motivate someone? Great! So our goal is to turn you into an inspirational leader, if you're not already one. But to do that, we need to understand what inspiration is and how it works. To do that, it's best to understand the opposite of inspiration: manipulation. Manipulation here doesn't mean brainwashing people, it means giving incentives like discounts and buy two, get one free deals. This approach is effective in the short term, but it doesn't create loyal customers. Take Apple for example. It doesn't offer incentives, but people go crazy for its products. That's because Apple starts with why. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Key insight number 2. Apple, along with the Golden Circle, has come together to create something special. In Northern California during the late 60s, there was a spirit of protest and revolution in the air. Young people with flowers in their hair and a rebellious attitude were challenging the conformist ways of the government and big corporations. It was in this atmosphere that two nerdy-looking young men, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs, were inspired to start their own revolution. They wanted to empower the individual and challenge the status quo by creating something special: the personal computer. Their mission was to think different, and this became the core of Apple. This concept of the Golden Circle explains why some brands are more successful than others, and it's composed of 3 concentric circles. The why is the bull's eye in the center and represents the mission of the business. The how is wrapped around the why and explains how the mission is achieved. And the what is the outermost circle and describes the activities of the business. Apple's success is due to their commitment to their why and their ability to attract people who share their mission. This is why they are able to filter out the bystanders and freeloaders and attract the innovators and early adopters who are passionate about their mission. Key insight number 3. Wondering how to start with why? You might be thinking this all sounds pretty good and it wouldn't be that hard to implement. But it's actually a bit more complicated. Most founders and leaders don't even have a clue what their why is. They can tell you what they do and how they do it, but struggle when asked why their company exists. Without a purpose, how can anyone else care? And how can employees come to work with a sense of purpose if the leader doesn't have one? That's why it's important to actually find your why and communicate it. Simon Sinek wrote a whole book about it called Find Your Why, and the idea is to investigate your past and find patterns. Once you've done that, the next step is finding a way to clearly communicate your why. This is where the Golden Circle comes in. You start with the why, then move on to the how and what. Apple is a good example of this. When they launched the iPod, they started with their why. We want to revolutionize how music is distributed and consumed. Then followed up with the how. We made a device that can store 1,000 songs and fits in your pocket. Once you've found your why and communicated it, the last step is to get the right people to handle the how, so you can focus on the why. As the leader, your job is to inspire others to take action, not to do everything yourself. Remind your employees why they started and why they're passionate about the mission. Communicate the why clearly, and everything else will follow. Let's end this summary with an analogy. It's an inspiring story about inspiration, if you can believe it. We're talking about 2 medieval stonemasons working on a large construction site. When you ask the first one if he likes his job, he says, "No, it's really tough. Hot and back-breaking work, and I don't even know if I'll live long enough to see the end result." Makes sense, right? But then you go up to the second stonemason, ask him the same question, and he says, "It's monotonous and not great for my back, but I love it. I'm building a cathedral." Same job, but the second one is inspired because he knows what he's doing it for. As a leader, that's your job. Remind everyone why they're doing something and give them something to be inspired by. Are you unsure how to set goals or what to focus on in life? Clayton M. Christensen, a top business expert and cancer survivor, offers his unique perspective on how to lead a life of both professional success and true joy in his book, How Will You Measure Your Life? He covers a range of topics, such as how to use motivation to your advantage, the best career strategy for you, how to nurture relationships with those you love, and how to cultivate a positive family culture. Do you like our 10-minute book summaries? Like, subscribe, and check out more videos from the Empowered Leader. Let us know your favorite leadership and motivation books in the comments section.